Morning everyone. Morning, Jai Hind, Namaskar. So I welcome you all to this daily newspaper editorial analysis session. I hope that I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good morning. Okay. So I hope I am properly audible and visible. Good morning everyone. Okay. So I welcome you all to this session, and in today's session there are certain topics which we are going to discuss. The first topic, the first editorial which we are going to discuss is with respect to the water resources. This is something which is part of your GS paper 1 also, although question from here can also be in GS paper 3. So it is a mix of GS paper 1 plus GS paper 3. In both the papers you can get questions. Second topic is with respect to the Indian worker population. So we are going to talk about this, the labor force participation ratio. We are going to see some facts and figures with respect to this part. The third part is with respect to AI in judiciary. That what is going to be the role of AI in judiciary, how we are using it as of now, what are the benefits which might be there, plus at the same time, what may be the challenges which may arise out of the use of AI in the judiciary. Yes, we will discuss the questions also, don't worry about it. We will discuss the questions also. At the end of the session, we are going to discuss the questions also. Last day also we have discussed about the question. So let's start. Let's start first with this one thing. How India is governing its water resources. This is the first topic which we are going to discuss about. This is the first topic, like how we are managing our water resources. So this is one of the very important topic which you might expect in 2026 also, 27 also. This is one evergreen topic which is always there. So let us try to see this one by one. So here we are talking about the water resources in India. What we see here, we are talking about the water resources. Now, when we look at this, there are different dimensions of it, that how much water we are receiving, how much water we get on annual basis. So here you will see that like India is getting approximately 4,000. India is getting approximately 4,000 billion cubic water. This is something which we receive every year through rainfall. So what we see that we are getting something around 4,000 cubic. We are getting around 4,000 billion cubic water on an average per year due to rainfall. So this is a significant amount of water which we are getting here. But see, at the same time, there is a second side of a story, that we are using, or only around 1100 of it, or 1/4 of it is usable. We see that only 1100 billion cubic water, only about 1100 billion cubic water, this is something which is considered as usable. So we are getting around 4,000 billion cubic water, but we are using, or we can use only 1100. We are getting 4,000 billion cubic water every year, but we can use only 1100 billion cubic water out of that. Why? Why we are not able to lose this? Sorry, why we are not able to use this 4,000? There is one of the major problem, that is lack of storage infrastructure. Lack of storage infrastructure means we are lacking rainwater harvesting infrastructure. We are lacking this rainwater harvesting infrastructure. So this is something which is missing here. The rainwater harvesting infrastructure, this is something which is missing here. Then we also see that there is another factor here. There is another factor here, that is uneven rainfall distribution. Uneven rainfall distribution. We are not getting this rainfall in an even manner, both especially also and at the same time as per the timeline also. If we look from the geographical angle, plus if we look at the timeline of rainfall also, you may have seen that at one point of time there is too much rainfall, there is excess amount of rainfall which is even causing flooding, and on the same side after a few months there is a drought like condition, that we are having flooding and drought in the same area in the same year. We are having this problem where we are having the flooding also, we are having the drought also in the same geographical area in the same year. So we see that there is the uneven rainfall distribution, and in many areas, in many of the Himalayan areas, in many of the other areas, there are of course ecological constraints. There are of course ecological constraints also. So it's not that India is not receiving water. It's not that we are not receiving water. We have got a significantly higher proportion of water which we are getting, but we are not able to utilize it. It's not that we are lacking the water resources, we are not able to utilize the water resources. That is one of the major drawback. This is part one. Then we see there are other parts also. There is other part also. What we see that we have got, when we talk about water resources, we see that we have got 1/5 or nearly 20%. We have got just 1/5 of, or near about, you can say like 17 to 18%. 17 to 18% of world's population. We have got 17 to 18% of world population. We have got 17 to 18% of world's population, but we have only 4% of global freshwater resources. So if you look at this, we have got 17% or 18% of the population of the world, but our freshwater resources are quite limited. We have got just this 4% of the freshwater report. Okay. Now the Niti Ayog says that 600 million people in India are living under water stress. Okay. So Niti Ayog says that there are 600 million people, 600 million Indians, they are having extreme water stress. They are facing extreme water stress. So 600 million people in India, they are suffering from this extreme water stress. They are not having plenty of water. They are not having plenty of water resources. Okay. So we see that there is also one part in 1950s. In case of 1950s, we see that the per capita availability, this was greater than 5,000 cubic. Per capita availability was more than 5,000 cubic. Okay. 5,000 cubic meter. So this is something like the per capita availability in the 1950s after the independence was 5,000 cubic meter per person annually. This was the amount of water which was available at that period of time. Now it is at present, if we talk about this, at present, the per capita availability is near about, it is near about 1400 cubic meter. You can see that our per capita availability is nearly 1/4 now. We have got just 1/4 availability of the water now. So here you can see that we are having a population which is enormously large. We see that our per capita availability is lower, and around 600 million people, they are living in water stress. Okay. So now also tell me one thing. Tell me one thing, that how do we get our water? What is the major source of water for Indians? What is the major source for water for Indians? How do we get it? From the rivers, from the ponds, from the groundwater? How do we extract our water? Mode of extraction of water. What is our mode of getting fresh water? Mode of getting fresh water. How do majority of people in India get the fresh water? Groundwater, rivers. How we are getting? Like in our domestic households, in our irrigation, how do we get this? We see that the groundwater. Groundwater is the main source. Groundwater is the main source. Groundwater extraction. This is the main source. This is the main source. This is the main source of water in India. This is the main source of water in India. We are getting groundwater extraction. We are doing groundwater extraction. Okay. In fact, India is, when we talk about India, we are world's largest contributor. World's largest contributor to groundwater extraction. So we are the largest contributor to the groundwater extraction. So this is one of the very important part. Like, we are using it. We are using it for agriculture. We are using it for domestic purposes. So we see that this is being used for agriculture also. Agriculture also. This is something which is used for household also. So this is the main source. This is the main source for agriculture. And at the same time, it is also the main source for domestic households, domestic users. So agriculture and domestic users, both are using what? They are using groundwater. Now, as a result of this, what we see, as a result of this, what is the impact of this? What is the overall impact of this part? When we talk about this, the impact is that groundwater level, the water table, this is something which is declining. Water table is declining. People are extracting more and more groundwater. People are using more and more groundwater, and it is declining. This is something which is declining. So we see that the groundwater is declining at an enormous rate. Everyone is using the groundwater. So this is something which is depleting our water table level. Okay. Now this is one part. See, we have seen the first part. We have seen the first part, that how much water we receive, how much water we have, how do we get the water. Now the next part is, how do we govern the water? The governance of water. How do we govern the water? We see that the governance of water at the national level is in the hand of Ministry of Jal Shakti. We have one thing called as Ministry of Jal Shakti. We have this one thing, Jal Shakti. Now, this is responsible. This is the central level. This is the main agency which is responsible for water resource, drinking water supply, sanitation, everything. So, this is something which is responsible for drinking water. This is something which is responsible for drinking water, water resource management. This is also responsible for water resource management. This is also responsible for sanitation. So we have this Ministry of Jal Shakti which is there. Then we have an institution called as Central Water Commission also. We have this one institution called as Central Water Commission. We have one more institution called as Central Water Commission. Now, this is something which focus on surface water, okay, river basin, flood control. So, this one organization focus on, there is a focus on surface water. There is a focus on surface water. There is a focus on river basin development. And at the same time, it is also responsible for flood control. तो देखो आपका नोट्स यहां से इस एक आर्टिकल से पूरा तैयार हो जाएगा. योर एंटायर नोट्स विल बी प्रिपेयर्ड फ्रॉम दिस वन आर्टिकल. वी आर हैविंग द वाटर गवर्नेंस ऑल्सो. इसी में हम लोग ये भी बात करेंगे कि व्हाट आर द वाटर रिलेटेड स्कीम्स, व्हाट स्कीम्स हैव बीन स्टार्टेड. So this one article is going to give you a complete article on this water issue, the management of water, the schemes related to water, the challenges of water. तो अगर आपको बाद में एक और आर्टिकल मिल गया तो this is something which is going to help you getting a complete material on water resources in India. UPSC admit card, I don't think it has been released as of now, Mohanty. So once it is released, we will let you know. Now, the third part which we can see here, that we are also having Central Groundwater Commission. We are having this Central Groundwater Commission. We are having the Central Groundwater Commission. Okay. So here what we see, Central Groundwater Board. Or authority also, CGWA is also there. Okay. Now this is assessing, this assess the groundwater resources. This is something which is assessing the groundwater resources. Then it is providing scientific inputs. This one provides scientific inputs. This one provides the scientific inputs for sustainable aquifer management. So this is one Central Groundwater Board also which is there. Then we see that, then we have the Niti Aayog. Then we have the Niti Aayog also. So what is this Niti Aayog doing? It is like, this is something which is helping in evaluating water performance. Evaluate water performance. This is something which is having evaluation of water performance. Okay. So it is having the composite water management index. It is having this composite water management index. It is having this composite water management index which is giving the input for the various state government. Which is giving the input for the various state government that how they are going to manage their water resources, how they are going to utilize their water resources, what is the water stress in different states. So it is evaluating the water performance. At the same time, when we talk about this water governance, what we also see that when we are talking about this water governance, there is also one thing, that the state government, which are there, they are responsible for irrigation. They are responsible for irrigation. They are responsible for water supply. And at the same time, they are also responsible for groundwater regulation. Groundwater regulation. So union government cannot alone modify these things, cannot alone do all the tasks with respect to water. We see that there is an involvement of state also. We are having a federal like approach. We are having a federal system. So where a state government is primarily in control of irrigation also, state government is control of water supply also, state government is under this, in this groundwater regulation also. So these all things are the primary responsibility of the state governments. Now at the same time, if we look into this, that what schemes have been started, what schemes have been going on with respect to this one water management. Okay. So we have this one of the very innovative scheme called a Jal Jeevan Mission. We have this one thing called as Jal Jeevan Mission. So what is the aim here? The aim is to provide tap water connection to everyone. To provide tap water connection. To provide tap water to every rural household. So we are having this Jal Jeevan Mission, which aims to ensure that there is a functional tap water connection to every rural household. Okay. We have Har Ghar Nal Jal pipeline, but in the absence of tanks or reserves, water is being wasted. Yes, that is one of the issue. Now, what we see that the second thing is, we are also having this Atal Bhujal Yojana. We are having this Atal Bhujal Yojana also. We are having the second one called as Atal Bhujal Yojana. Now, what is this scheme doing? We see that this is something which is promoting participatory. This is something which promotes participatory. Participatory means the common people are getting involved. It promotes this participatory aquifer management. Aquifer management means the citizens will be participating in this in water stressed regions. So we are having this participatory aquifer management in water stressed regions. We see that this is something which is again helping. This is again helping in managing the groundwater resources. Then we see there is another part, that is Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. There is another part which is the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. We have this Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana. We have the Pradhan Mantri Krishi Sinchai Yojana, which is working on water use efficiency. It has the motto of water use efficiency. It focuses on this water use efficiency. It has a slogan, per drop more crop. It has a slogan of this: per drop more crop. It promotes drip irrigation. This is promoting the drip irrigation practices. It is promoting the drip irrigation practices where the water is being supplied to the plants drop by drop and they are utilizing it. There is a maximum efficiency of the water. There is a maximum efficiency of the water. So this is also one of the part. Then we see that we have a Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation, which is called as Amrut. Atal mission for rejuvenation and urban transformation. Amrut mission is there. So in the Amrut mission also, we have seen that it aims at expanding water supply. This has an aim of expanding water supply, sewage treatment, Then it has also aim of ecological restoration. This is also having, wastewater reuse. It is also promoting wastewater reuse. So we have this Amrut mission also. And the Amrut mission is also focusing. This is having a focus on urban areas. This is having the focus on urban areas, that how we are going to cover the water in India, how we are going to ensure the proper water supply in urban areas. So Amrut mission is also there. Then you will find we have the Namami Gange Yojana also. Then we see that there is also this Namami Gange Yojana. We have this Namami Gange Yojana. We have the Namami Ganga Yojana also, and the aim is quite simple. In this case, the aim is quite simple. It is about ecological restoration. Ecological restoration in Ganga basin. Similarly, you can find that for many other rivers also, like for Yamuna also we have a plan, for Ganga river also we have a plan, for multiple other rivers we are having different plans in order to make them free from pollution. And still, just to add this one more fact here, when we talk about this, one more fact can be added here, that 70% surface water in India, 70% surface water in India is polluted. 70% surface water in India is polluted. So we are having a series of plans. You can see that we are having a series of plans. We have got Ministry of Jal Shakti, we have got Central Water Commission, Central Groundwater Board, Niti Aayog. We have got state government have different departments. So what we see that the water management in India, is something where we see that we have got a lot of institutions, we have got lot of water resources. So what is missing there? If you analyze all these things, so what is missing there in our water governance? What is the missing factor? What is the missing factor? Missing factor is the lack of proper water governance. We see that there is a lack of proper water governance. There may be a lack of coordination. There is a lack of coordination. And there is a lack of awareness among the masses. Lack of awareness among masses. So we see that There is a lack of proper water governance, there is a lack of awareness among masses, and there is a lack of coordination. So we don't have a water problem. We don't have a water problem. We are creating a water problem. We are not facing a water problem. We are creating it for ourselves. So that is the issue. We don't have the water problem as such. We are having 4,000 billion cubic water. We are able to use just 1/4 of it. So 3,000 billion cubic water is being wasted every year. We are not able to tackle it. And we are having lesser per capita availability of water resources. So think about this. India is called as a country of rivers. We have the mighty rivers starting from the north part of the country to the south part, from west to east. We have huge water resources. We are a country which is suffering from flood and drought at the same time. We are a country which is facing the flood and drought conditions at the same time. So it shows that our water governance, our water management is something which is heavily lacking. Okay. So I hope this one part is clear. तो देखो इस एडिटोरियल में ज्यादातर गवर्नेंस और स्कीम्स के बारे में बताया गया है. In future we might get another article on water resources. Okay. Since this monsoon is approaching, summer is approaching, you may see water stress again, and we might be able to see many more such editorial. Now this is one part which has covered almost 1/3 of your theme of water resource. This has covered almost 1/3 of the water resource theme. So keep this one notes separate. We might add more things in this notes in future, and then your water topic will get completed. Illiterate. Yes, it is happening in India. What we can say, there is a lack of awareness among masses also. So now let's move on to the next part. The next part is with respect to, now here you are only having some data. In this editorial, we are only having some data. So let's see this data part, that what all data we are having. So this is part of your Indian economy section. You can update the data over there. In the Indian economy, you have to prepare some facts. And that Indian economy section, you can have these facts. First of all, labor force participation by gender and location. We can see, in case of India, the labor force participation of male is 58.8%. If we are talking about the male, we see that it is 58.8% in rural areas and 59.7% in urban areas. When we talk about the female, here we see that the participation is 34.6% in rural areas and it is 22.2% in urban areas. So देखो, many a times when you are writing answer, you generally assume that in the urban areas women are getting employment, but in rural area women are not getting employment. Many people think this. If you are not aware of the fact that the rural women is not working, if people are migrating to urban areas, then they start working. So you can see the scenario. In case of females, those who are in urban areas, they are working less. Their participation is lower. Those who are in rural areas, their participation is higher. So in urban areas, the participation of the women is lower. In rural areas, it is higher, and the gap is significant there. A significant gap is there. So this is one part which you have to understand. Second thing you can see, this is about labor force participation in person aged 15 years and above. That what is the overall change in labor force participation. So you can see that from 2022 to 25, if we look at this, from 2022 to 2025, if we talk about overall labor force participation rate, we see here it has increased from 78%. It has increased from 78% to 79.1%. So overall, the labor force participation rate is increasing. This is a positive trend. We will come to that. We will come to that why we are seeing this trend in rural versus urban areas. We will come to that part. So 78% to 79.1%. When we talk about the male members, here what we see that the participation has increased from 56.1% to around 59.3%. And in case of female, it has increased from 33.9% to near about 40%. So the labor force participation ratio in India has changed here. The overall labor force participation rate is 78% to 79%. Male also it has been increasing. Female also it has been increasing. In female, the rise is higher. Now there is a question that why the women in urban areas are having lower participation. There are multiple dimensions of it. See, one of the dimension why lower in urban areas. First part is, when we talk about labor force participation ratio, it is counted from 15 years and above. 15 years and above. Now here what you will see that 15 years to almost 25 years. If someone is living in urban areas, if someone is there in urban areas, it is more likely that they are still in study phase. They are still in study phase. That is one of the reason. There is one of the reason many of them are still in study phase. Second thing, one of the second part is the economic prosperity. Those who are living in urban areas, what we see that those who are living in urban areas, they are generally well off. They are generally from good family. They are generally from the richer family. Okay. They are generally having well-to-do families. They are having more economic prospects. So again, this is one part where we see that their participation is going to be lower. Their participation is going to be lower. So when you have already the money in the house, then what we see that there is lesser chance of their participation. Third thing is, in case of urban areas, we see that there is a nuclear family. So what we see, the women, they get engaged with raising children. So they are also getting engaged with raising child. There is no other option. They don't have the option to leave their child. The school bus comes at 8 a.m. and drops them at 12 or 2 p.m. The school bus is dropping them at 2 p.m. So what do you expect? How the children are going to be there in the house if there is no one? If the father is also on the job, if the mother is also on the job, the house is locked. So from 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. or 7 p.m., where will the children go? That is also one of the challenge. So especially in the early years, when people get married in the early years up to the age of 7 years or 8 years or 10 years, someone has to be there with the child. Someone has to be there with the child. So that responsibility ultimately falls on women. So that responsibility ultimately comes on women. So that is also one of the challenging aspect. Then we see that. So these are some of the reasons. These are some of the reasons why women are having lesser participation. Now see this one thing. Youth unemployment rate by gender and location. So you will find the unemployment in case of male in rural area, there is unemployment rate of 8.2%. In urban areas, the rate is higher, 8.6%. In case of female, you will find that the unemployment, in case of male, in case of rural areas, it is 8.2%. In case of urban areas, it is 11.8%. In case of female in rural areas, it is 8.6%. And in case of urban areas, the rate of unemployment is 18.9%. So a female is likely to get a job in rural areas much more easily. In the case of urban areas, a woman is less likely to get a job as compared to the rural areas. So rural areas have a better employment potential. The rural areas are having a much more better employment potential as compared to the urban areas. So this is also one of the stark reality that while we are focusing on urban areas, the crude reality is this, that the rural areas are having lower unemployment rate. Rural area is having more opportunity for women. So this is also one of the part. Can we have to remember the facts and figures? Yes. If you have to write a very good answer, then you will need to memorize some of these facts. So this is also one of the art. Now see, the educated and non-educated people or the general people who are getting more employment. So see this interesting part. Those who are more educated, they are more unemployed. See, in general, the unemployment rate is 2.4%. In general, the unemployment rate is 2.4%. Those who are educated, their unemployment rate is 6%. So those who are educated, their unemployment rate is 6%. In case of urban areas, what we see that those normal people, they are having a unemployment rate of 4.8%. Okay. And the educated ones are having an unemployment rate of 7.2%. Overall, if we look at the entire India level, the people who are not, in general, for everyone, in general, for general population, the unemployment rate is 3.1%. But those who are educated, their unemployment rate is 6.5%. So more educated, more job searching, less options, so many more remain unemployed. कई बार क्या होता है, लोगों को पढ़ने के बाद ये लगता है कि अब हम ये सब जॉब थोड़े ना करेंगे, हमने इतनी पढ़ाई इसलिए तो नहीं की है कि वी आर गोइंग टू डू एनी जॉब. So of course that also comes into mind. If we are going to do a job, then it should have some merit. We are not going to do any such job. So more educated people, more unemployment. That's why one of the minister of a state in one of the country, a country here XYZ. In that XYZ country, there is a state ABCD. And in that state, the education minister said this, that what is the need of education? So this one justifies his statement. What is the need of education? In XYZ country, in a province ABCD, there was an education minister once upon a time, and he said this part, that what is the need of education? So you can understand why he is saying this. If you are more educated, there is more chance of unemployment. If there is more education, there is more chances of unemployment. So he was right in saying that. What is the need of education? Okay. So this is one part. Now see, there is also one thing, employment among women workers. Now here you can see that if there is self-employed, their number is quite high, 70%. 70% of the women are self-employed. Regular wage 9.3% and casual labor is 20%. See this, one of the very interesting trend. 70% of the employment in rural areas is not just casual labor. It is not casual labor, it is self-employed people. So 70% of the women who are there in rural areas, they are self-employed. They are self-employed. So this is one of the very interesting part of it. Self-employment is a major thing in rural areas. In case of urban areas, we see that the figure drops down to 40.4%. The regular wages or salaried increases up to 50.9% and the casual labor is 8.7%. So many a times this comes to mind that when we are talking about rural women, maybe they are engaged in agricultural labor. Many a times it comes to our thing that if women are there in rural areas, if they are employed, maybe they are employed in like road construction as a casual labor, as a daily wage worker. No, the 70% of them are employed like self-employed women. So they have got their own business. So see, there is a very important part which you have to understand. When the COVID was going on, what we have seen that during the COVID time, the rural economy of India emerged as the backbone of Indian economy. This rural economy has created such a strong demand. It has created such a strong demand that our revival from COVID era was a significant one. Our revival from the part of COVID era was a significant one. So rural economy is having the key to India's prosperity. The rural economy is having the key to India's prosperity. Now think about this. If we are providing all the modern infrastructure, the urban amenities in rural areas, then just try to imagine that what would be the growth potential of that region. That if we are having all the amenities in the rural areas, if we are having good schools, if we are having good facilities in rural areas, it will also reverse the trend of migration. It is also going to reduce the pressure on resources. Plus, it is already serving as a tool for women empowerment also, as a tool of self-employment also. So this is one of the significant part which we have to understand with respect to the rural economy. MBA chai wala. Chalo. So let's come to this part. Next thing is the AI in judiciary. Next part we are coming to this. You can start like, although there is already there is Old Rajendra Nagar. I think you all may be aware about this. Old Rajendra Nagar is there. So in Old Rajendra Nagar, there is already multiple shops like this, like UPSC Paratha wala, UPSC juice wala. एक बार आपने juice पिया तो prelims clear. So we have got many such shops which are already there. In Old Rajendra Nagar, you will find that UPSC chai wala is also there. UPSC juice wala is also there. IAS Paratha wala. So many things are already there. We have to come with something new, something fresh idea. So that UPSC juice wala shop may come with this one tagline: one juice and you will clear prelims. So maybe they are distributing some mock test also with juice paper. I don't know about it. Okay. So now we are having this one thing, the use of AI in judiciary. We are having this use of AI in judiciary. We are talking about the use of AI in judiciary. So what is the part here? What is the part here? We have got two such new initiatives. One part is one case, one data. There is one thing called as one case, one data. And there is a second portal called as Sahayak. So two new initiatives has been there. This is something which is a unified judicial data grid. This is a unified judicial data platform. This is something which is a unified judicial data platform. And this is something which is a chatbot. It is a chatbot. This is a chatbot, and this is like helping in order to find the case number and all other related things. Okay. So we see that we have got one case, one data plus two Sahayak. These two new initiatives, they have been started by Supreme Court. They have been launched by the Chief Justice of India. We have got two new initiatives here. One case, one grid. Then we have got this two Sahayak. So when we talk about them individually, like we have the first part, one case, we have the first thing, one case, one data. One case, one data. This is one of the platform. One case, one data. So what is this doing? This provides a unified digital trail. Like you may see that people have first gone to the lower court, then they may have gone to high court, then they have gone to Supreme Court. So when they are going through these different sections, when they are going through all these sections from lower court to high court to Supreme Court, in that section itself, we see that like a unified digital trail of data will be there. Trail of data from all courts. So this is going to provide a unified digital trail of data from all the courts. Okay. This is going to create a linkage. This is going to create a linkage between the court records and litigant action. Court records and like litigant actions. Like suppose that if a lower court has given a judgment in a particular case, and then after the person who is there, they have approached the high court, they have gone to high court, they have appealed against it, then what we see that this all the details are going to be there, the linkage between the court records and the litigant action, it is going to be there. Now this will enable, this is going to enable easier access to data. This is going to enable the easier access to data. Okay. This will reduce the need of manual verification. Reduce the need for manual verification. This will help in speedy justice. So this will like expedite the process of getting justice. Okay. Then we are going to have all these things with respect to this one case, one data platform. Now we see that like this is something which can reduce the procedural delay. It is something which can reduce the procedural delay. It is something which can reduce the procedural delay. That many a times when we have to move the records from one court to another court, it takes time. It takes time. So what we see that what we see that this is something which is enabling the reduction in the time for justice delivery. So that is the work of one case, one data. The second thing is, the second initiative is Susahayak. There is a second initiative, Susahayak. So now what is this? This is an AI chatbot. This is an AI chatbot. This is an AI chatbot. Now what we see here that like this is something which is helping the user to navigate case status, cause list, etc. So this is going to help the users. This is going to help the users to navigate the judicial websites. जैसे लोग वेबसाइट पे जाते हैं, they are trying to search कि what is the status of their case, what are the documents, what is the procedure going on, the e-services, the order, the judgment. So all these things which they are trying to find out, that can also be available through this chatbot. So many people are there who are not able to access the website properly. Many people are there who are not able to access the website properly. So now all these things like case list, case status, or order, judgment, etc. So now all these things can be available here through the help of this AI chatbot. So these things have been provided by the judiciary, that they are coming with this one option. Now there is this one challenge. When we are talking about these initiatives are there, but we have to also discuss that what challenges may be there because of these intervention. So there is a challenge. There is a challenge with one case, one data initiative. First thing is the interoperability. Among different courts. What we see that all the courts are maintaining the different case file and other things in a different manner. We don't have a standard manner of maintaining this. We are not having a standard manner of maintaining the case files or other things in many courts. They are having their own processes. So we see that if we are having a judicial platform, a one case, one data platform, so how it will be interoperably used between the different things. Then there is a question also on integrity of legacy records. Like the historical records which are there, how much accurate they are. That is also going to be questionable. There is also going to be a question on the integrity of the data. Okay. So what we see that, like the next part is the skilling of the staff. The skilling of staff. And at the same time, potential of misuse of data. Potential of misuse of data. अगर सभी डेटा मिल जाता है, तो there is a chance of misuse of the data by the different participants. There can be a misuse of data also by the different participant. So this is one part where we see that this one case, one data initiative, although it is quite good, it is going to help in quick justice, speedy justice, effective justice. It is going to digitize the process. Everything is good there. But then yes, there are challenges also to this, that how we are going to ensure this. Are our staff skilled for this? The second part is it having a chance of potential misuse? Then the different courts, They are having the data in different manner, how we are going to ensure interoperability. Then at the same time, the integrity of the legacy records. If there are some records from lower court and other courts which are to be digitized and to be updated on this, there is a chance that there may be a lack of integrity in the uploading of the data. So if we are like applying it from the past, अगर हम इसको past से लागू कर रहे हैं, so uploading all those documents, uploading all those data may become one of the challenging tasks. And many of the cases which are pending in the courts now, they are quite old cases, 3 years, 5 years, 7 years, 10 years, even more than that. So we have huge number of pendency of cases, plus many of them are historical cases. They're having data of 3, 5, 7, 10 years. So how we are going to integrate the data of all those cases on the one single platform? So that is going to be one of the challenge of this. So while we are not using it directly in the judiciary for making such like we are not using it. We are not using it for the purpose of like writing, or sorry, we are not using it for the purpose of delivering the justice. But we have started using AI for the administrative purposes. We have started using AI for the administrative purposes. So that is one thing which we have all started. Now, on the basis of it, we have got some questions. We have got this one question. So the increasing use of AI in judiciary has several potential advantages as well as challenges. Analyze. This is something which you have to write in 150. Second thing is, India doesn't have a natural water crisis. It is a man-made crisis. Comment. So I think ये दोनों आंसर आप लिख सकते हो. I hope you can write all these answers. ये दोनों आंसर लिख सकते हो आप. So last day I have given you a task also. Last day मैंने आपको एक task भी दिया था to write one of the answer. एक आंसर लिखने के लिए मैंने आपको टास्क दिया था. So how many of you have written that answer? कितने लोगों ने वो आंसर लिखा है? How many of you have written that answer? We have got this one question. The quota-based women empowerment has limited success potential. Discuss. क्या आपको पॉलिटिक्स में इंटरेस्ट है? You know, it's not about the interest. When I am in class, so then at that point of time, I have no interest in it. But by default, everyone who is a citizen must be interested in politics. So when I am as a teacher here, then I have no such thing with respect to politics. The simple thing is, we have to like discuss about each and every topic in a neutral manner. So when we are in classes, there is no point. But outside the class, when I am just as a citizen, then at that point of time, everyone should be interested in politics. हम लोगों ने एक आर्टिकल डिस्कस किया था इसको कि why the women are having the lack of representation in politics. Why the women are lacking in politics? One of the major factors which we have seen as a part of survey was the lack of interest among women with respect to politics. So if you are having a lack of interest with respect to politics, then as a group, if our entire group is having a lack of interest in politics, then that group is going to be at a disadvantage. So you cannot be like having a disinterest in politics. If you are a citizen, you have to take interest in politics. But professionally, there is no interest in politics, because professionally we have to do something else. So here we have the quota-based women empowerment. It has limited success potential. It has limited success potential. So you have to discuss about this one thing. So how many of you have written this? How many of you have written this answer? If we talk about this one question, so how many of you have written about this one answer? Written? How much time? See, the question is saying the quota-based women empowerment has limited success potential. Discuss. Now, this is one such a statement where you have to argue on both sides, where you have to give arguments on both sides of it. So first of all, you can give the introduction. You can give the introduction. You can mention about this, like we have this Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. You can mention about the Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. You can start your answer with Nari Shakti Vandan Adhiniyam. You can mention, you can make a flow chart. If you have mentioned here itself, then it's fine. Then what you can do, you can make a graph. Here you can make a graph. Here on graph, you can see that how much participation we are having in Lok Sabha. You can make that in Lok Sabha 14%, in Rajya Sabha 15%, in State Legislative Assembly 9 to 10%. So you can make a graph like this. Do some innovation. आप कुछ innovation कर सकते हो. So here you can make a graph like this, that what is the participation of women? What is the participation of women in case of Lok Sabha, Rajya Sabha, Vidhan Sabha? So you can make a flow, you can make a graph over there just after writing the introduction. Then after, you can mention this part, that the limited success potential. Why quota, or the quota is having quota limitations. You can mention about the limitations of quota. Internal party reforms will not be there. Internal reforms will not be there. Then we see that there is a chance of like Sarpanch Pati culture. There is a chance of Sarpanch Pati culture. There is also a chance of lack of real power. और इसमें आप एग्जाम्पल दे सकते हो. यू कैन गिव द एग्जाम्पल. लास्ट डे वी हैव डिस्कस द एग्जाम्पल ऑफ मल्टीपल कंट्रीज. हम लोगों ने अलग अलग देशों का एग्जाम्पल देखा था. यू कैन गिव दिस एग्जाम्पल ऑफ मल्टीपल कंट्रीज where we have seen that this quota based representation has not been able to achieve a major transformation in the polity. It has not been able to achieve a major transformation in the polity or the politics. So what we see that internal reform, this will not be there. Sarpanch Pati culture may arise. Lack of real power will be there. Okay. Here we have already written about the proxy representation. Okay. Proxy representation. Then we see the quota. The quota is also on rotation basis. Quota जो है वो rotation basis पे होगा. So what we will see that the MPs, the normal MPs who are there, they will lack the spirit to do something if they know that their seat will not be available next year. और उनको मालूम है उनका सीट अगले साल होगा ही नहीं. Why they would work for the constituency? So there we see that the lack of interest among the MPs if they know quota is going to take away their seats. So lack of interest in MPs. Lack of interest in MPs for constructive work. So you can mention some of the limitations. Then you can mention this part, why quota is relevant for India. Why quota is relevant for India. Here you can mention this part, that the political parties are not going for reform in immediate manner. Political parties have not been able to reform in the last 70-75 years since independence. So we need some alternative. the social empowerment has not been there. So one of the tool for social empowerment can be the political empowerment. Okay. So here you can mention the lack of reforms, lack of party reforms. Then you can mention that this can become a tool for social empowerment. This is something which can become a tool for social empowerment. You can mention about some of the transformation. You can mention about the transformation due to Panchayati Raj institutions, that what transformations they have brought. What transformations they have brought, that is also something which you can mention, that why this is relevant for India. You can also mention that how it can also bring transformation in the legislative process, that it can mention bring change in legislative, it can bring change in legislative process. So this is why, this is where you have to defend it, that how this is quota is relevant for India. And then in the conclusion part, since this quota is already relevant, in the conclusion part, you can simply mention that what should be done next, और क्या करने की जरूरत है. You can mention about this part, that what else need to be done. Or if you want, you can make a way forward also, क्योंकि 250 वर्ड का है, so you can mention a way forward also, that along with this quota, what other changes are required. इस कोटा के साथ साथ और भी क्या चीजों को रिक्वायरमेंट पड़ेगी. You can mention that in way forward, and then you can mention about the conclusion. Then you can mention in the conclusion that this reservation is in the line of the constitutional spirit. हमारे कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन इक्वालिटी की बात करता है. कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन टॉक अबाउट द इक्वालिटी ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी. इस लाइन को आप यहां पे यूज कर सकते हो कि इक्वालिटी ऑफ अपॉर्चुनिटी इज समथिंग व्हिच हैज बीन एनविसेज्ड बाय आवर कॉन्स्टिट्यूशन. So the reservation for women in Lok Sabha is trying to ensure that equality of opportunity. यहाँ पे equality of opportunity की बात है. You have to provide the opportunity, then only we can see the equality in actual in the society. So I hope this part is clear. इसका आंसर आप सभी लोगों ने लिखा है. You can give the example of Rwanda also. You have crossed that 75% bar. That's good. Very good. So see, that is what I am saying, that if you are consistent, then there will be result for it. So I hope everyone has written this answer. So again, you have 2 questions to write. आपके पास 2 और क्वेश्चन है जिसका आंसर लिखना है. ठीक है. The increasing use of AI in judiciary. At the same time, there is one announcement for all of you. See, from 15 to 21 May. From 15 to 21 May, I would be on leave. So, you know, the prelims, like we have been working regularly from the last 4-5 months. So I think from January itself, multiple batches were going on, and Saturday, Sunday classes, everything was going on. Now I will be going on for leave for some days, because just after the mains, there will again be fresh batches, new batches for mains also and everything. So this is the time when I can get some vacation period also. So from 15 to 21 May, I would be on leave. So this is the time when actually we can get some leave, because generally what we see that now the prelims batches are over, mains batches will start after 24th of May. So this is the time when I will be going on leave for some days. So then after 21st of May, maybe from 22nd May itself or 23rd May, we will start with our editorial. So tomorrow we will do this. Tomorrow we will do this class, but day after tomorrow, today is 13th. Tomorrow we will meeting, and from 15th to 21, we will be having a short break. We will be having a short break. So, okay. So tomorrow we will have the class. So, and then after from 15 to 21, I will be on leave, and then again we will start from 22nd. Thank you everyone. Take care and all the best. Thank you.